All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Elijah Harrison. I'm an opportunity navigator for UVA Pipelines and Pathways. We are a program dedicated to helping individuals obtain employment at the University of Virginia, uh, mostly entry-level jobs. And we work with people who might be experiencing some hardships, some barriers that might be hindering their ability to obtain employment successfully at UVA. Some examples include criminal backgrounds, uh, physical or mental disabilities, lack of transportation. The list really goes on. We provide resources to address the barriers. We work individually, one-on-one with participants in the program to assess their needs and meet those needs. So it's a lot of case management and once they are successfully employed at UVA or one of our external partners, then we continue to follow up with them to make sure that they are enjoying their job. And if anything arises, any hardships, we are here to support them. We have our community and career job fair coming up next week, March 11th, at the PVCC Bolick Center. That is from 1:30 to 4 o'clock p.m. There will be over 100 employers, and it is free and open to the public. So leading up to that, we have this workshop series. We've already done how to write a strong resume, some interview tips, and then now professional image, making a lasting impression for employers, interviews, job fairs, social media. And we're hoping that these workshops will help you get ready for this job fair and for other employer-related events. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So making a strong first impression. What this workshop will cover is, dressing appropriately for various industries, the communicating effectively with employers through emails and in-person one-on-one, writing polished emails, using proper grammar, appropriate language, and then developing your elevator pitch. We'll go over that with an example. And then managing your social media presence. I think that's a big one and super relevant to today's generation. So dressing for success. So based on whatever job you're working for, you want to dress appropriately. I think this is pretty obvious, right? So if you're working in a corporate work environment, business formal, similar to what I have on, blazer, dress shirt, dress pants, dress shoes, and then of course healthcare. You're going to wear scrubs or business casual, depending on what your occupation is. And of course, whatever job you get, they're going to tell you what the appropriate attire is, but some people don't adhere to that. Hospitality, so you'll have uniforms for that. A lot of those include aprons or uh, aprons that waiters and waitresses wear, or business casual. And then the trades, it's all industry specific attire, but really all of these are specific attire to the industry. So attire for men, I guess, test to a lot of this. So a lot of the do's, well, you want to wear a well-fitted suit for formal industries. Opt for a neutral color dress shirt. So you don't want a floral dress shirt or, one with, patterns is okay, kind of like checkered dress shirts. I think those are fine, but you want to avoid any kind of graphic pattern. And then neutral colors. So nothing too flashy. You want to avoid the lime green. Believe it or not, they do have lime green dress shirts, and I've seen people wear them. Don't wear that. It's too flashy. It doesn't look good. Keep your shoes polished and professional. You don't want to wear running shoes, sneakers. Maintain good grooming. Make sure you clean yourself up. Hygiene is important. It goes a long way. It shows that you do care for yourself. And when employers see that you can care for yourself, they trust that you can do your job um, appropriately. It kind of builds trust. Here's an example of just kind of some clip art, uh, different attire. A lot of these individuals are wearing business formal, but you can see they all look pretty well groomed. They're wearing neutral colors and they look like they're ready for success. So some don'ts: avoid wrinkled or stained clothing. Make sure you iron your shirts. People notice, and it can subconsciously make an employer feel as though you are not, put together. There's something about you that makes them feel uneasy, or it can. So you want to avoid that. And stained clothing, of course. So just be mindful of those things. Um, no flashy accessories, like, you don't want to wear a chain over your dress shirt or really any work attire. You can wear watches, but nothing too flashy. It just needs to be a functional watch. I know Apple watches are pretty popular these days, or smartwatches, and I think those are appropriate. But all the rings and the earrings, I have my ears pierced, but I don't wear my earrings at work because I don't feel though it's appropriate. Strong cologne, avoid anything that's going to be uh, overpowering. There are colognes that are appropriate for business work environments. A quick Google search will allow you to see that. And then avoid overly casual wear unless it's appropriate, especially at the job fair. The last job fair we had in November last year, I was surprised to see some people wearing tank tops and flip-flops. And, you're going up to the people who, will end up interviewing you and maybe giving you a job. But if you're showing up in flip-flops and a tank top, it doesn't look like you're taking this seriously. So definitely avoid that. Avoid wearing sweatpants. At the very least, if you don't own dress pants or a nice blazer, at the very least, wear closed toe shoes, hopefully some neutral color, nothing too overbearing, and jeans. If that's all you've got, that's fine. That's better than sweatpants. And then if you don't have a collared shirt, try to just have a neutral colored shirt with no graphics on it and tuck that shirt in. I think just having your shirt tucked in goes a long way. It speaks volumes in terms of, you taking this a little bit more seriously. I know we have, I think, mostly women in this group, but do any of you all have any other tips for men attire? Maybe, your husband or brother or uncle, maybe you've seen them either do's or don'ts for dressing men attire at professional settings. Anyone have any tips? And I'll be asking as we continue, so I would love it if some of y'all would engage. That'd be great.
Okay, we have a couple of responses. One person talked about hats, whether or not you may or may not want to wear a hat. And
Such a
the other person, if you have a beard, keep it groomed. And the other person talked about having the beard groomed
Mm,
and anything else.
these are great. Yeah, I think the hat thing is a really big one. Don't wear a hat. Did I hear another suggestion?
They were just saying making sure the beard is nice and groomed. The beard.
Yes, beard is groomed. Beard should be groomed. This is a good one too. I just had Anna. What did she say? Let me open the chat. Um, what do you do if you do not currently have appropriate clothes in your wardrobe? My old suits no longer fit me because of weight gain and weight loss. So there are a number of things you can do. You can always go purchase these items, but of course that can be expensive, especially with the business attire, business casual attire. Goodwill, I know a lot of thrift stores carry these attire, which would make it a lot more cheaper. But we also have a clothing drive through our program, and I will post the details on that in the description of this video. But we have a clothing drive dedicated to providing formal wear for job fairs, interviews, things of that nature. And there are other resources out there that do provide formal clothing in the Charlottesville area, and I'm sure surrounding counties. But I will post the details in the description of this video because I don't have them um, on hand right now. But thank you, Diane, and the people in the class for providing those tips. Yeah, hats, you don't want to wear hats, and make sure your facial hair is well groomed. All right. Attire for women. So I would love it if you all were to engage because I am no expert at this. But according to research, some do's are, choose a well-tailored suit or business casual. Keep your accessories minimal and professional. I know women love to wear accessories, but nothing too extravagant, minimal, professional. Wear closed toe shoes for formal settings, so avoid flip-flops or anything open toe. And then maintain neat and professional grooming. Here is another clip art example of some different attire for women. You can see there's the jumpsuit, the skirt, the suit. Some don'ts: avoid overly tight or revealing clothing, no excessive perfume or flashy jewelry, and then avoid casual flip-flops or sneakers in formal settings. Now I'm going to bring it back to you all. If you would please provide me some either do's or don'ts to add on to this list. And I'm sure you all have got some.
Okay, they have a few. They said no gum, no,
So no bun, the hair.
no gum, no chewing gum.
Oh, no chewing gum. Yeah, that's a good, both men and
You already
women.
have another one. Oh, they said cleavage.
Yeah, yeah.
They, s- they, s- okay, no cleavage, no big satchel pocketbooks. Nothing really huge in terms of a
Mhm.
pocketbook. Just very simple.
Yeah,
Anything else? You get someone that will. No overly excessive makeup.
that's a good one too. You
Any
don't.
other? He pretty much nailed it. Okay. All right. They said you've nailed it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are, pretty, for the most part, obvious, I feel like. Just dressing appropriately for the occasion. But yeah, those are all great. I like the chewing gum one. I've seen people at job fairs constantly chewing on gum, and it's not a good look when you're speaking to employers, and it kind of is a distraction. for employers when they're speaking to you one-on-one. So don't chew gum. Same goes with public speaking. Um, that's a great one. All right, moving on. So this is the elevator pitch. So when you go to the job fair, hopefully you will have crafted an elevator pitch and practice and memorized it. So some tips for that. A strong elevator pitch includes your name and your background, including your education background and some of your relevant work experience, your skills and strengths, both soft and hard skills that are relevant to the industry or the job that you are seeking, and then strengths, of course. And then what you're looking for in a job, whether it's professional growth or to enhance a particular role or mission for an organization, and why you would be a great fit based on the aforementioned criteria. So an example, very short and sweet. Hi, I'm Alex, an experienced customer service professional with 5 years in the industry. I excel in problem solving and communication. I'm looking for opportunities in client relations where I can leverage my skills to enhance customer satisfaction. So Alex, introduced themselves as Alex. They talk about their work experience in customer service, and over 5 years in that industry. So this is Alex is looking for a job related to customer service. So they mentioned their customer service experience, how long they've been doing it. You want to use numbers primarily for how long you've been in the industry. And, including some of your education would be nice too. I graduated this year with my degree in whatever. And then I would talk about your work experience, how long you've been doing it, and then what your strengths are. So you excel in problem solving and communication. So these are soft skills. Problem solving and communication are soft skills. Hard skills would include proficiency in something like Microsoft Suites, Canva, uh, any software. But you would want to bring those hard skills up in your elevator pitch so long as it's relevant to the job or the organization that you are tailoring this elevator pitch to. If you're having a general elevator pitch that you want to use across the board for all, various industries, then you want to avoid niche specific language. Try to just keep it general. This is a good example of a general elevator pitch. And then Alex is looking for opportunities in client relations where they can leverage their skills to enhance customer service. So this is what they're looking for in a job. And why they would be a good fit? Well, to enhance customer satisfaction. So this is just an example of an elevator pitch, but it's really important to have handy, especially at job fairs, because there are so many people and you have limited time when you are speaking to employers. You want to keep it concise and to the point. It'll go a long way if you do prepare with an elevator pitch. If you need tips on crafting one, reach out to me. I'll have my email in the description of this video. And I know I've got a couple people in here I'm already working with, so we can work on that if you're interested. Moving on, communicating with employers. So some do's is, and this is mostly for the job fair, but in any work environment, be polite and professional in emails, use appropriate language, acknowledge them. If you had already met with the employer at the job fair, and you want to send up a follow-up email, you can start off by saying, hey, this is Alex. Don't say hey, hi to whoever. My name is Alex. We met at the job fair. It was a pleasure meeting with you. We, talk about highlight what you all talked about, why you're interested in that job, maybe something that stuck out. Use clear and concise language. Um, Avoid abbreviations. Keep things concise and to the point. Don't go on, banters and whatnot. And then proofread before sending. Some don'ts. Avoid using slang or informal language. Be punctual. Make sure you are capitalizing the correct words. Do not send emails with typos or grammatical errors. A lot of times you'll have a red line under typos, usually, unless you have the setting turned off, which by default is not turned off. So if you turn it off, I would suggest turning it back on. Avoid being too casual in professional settings, unless you know the person, of course. But even at that, you don't want to be too casual because you want to respect the dynamic of an employer versus you as the job seeker. All right. Are there any questions or any additional do's or don'ts that you all have for communicating with employers? Maybe something based off of your own experience that you made a mistake. I know I've made plenty of mistakes when communicating with employers, but we learn from them and we grow from them, and that's what makes us better. But do you all have any other suggestions or tips? And if not, that's totally fine. All right, moving on. Social media and your professional image. So this is a big one because everyone's got, for the most part, everyone's got social media. I have social media. So some do's, if you have a LinkedIn profile, you want to keep it up to date. You don't want to have it saying that you're still working at XYZ organization, which was 5 years ago. You want everything to be up to date. And have it look professional, your LinkedIn profile. I feel like that's a entirely other subject, but do your research, make sure your LinkedIn profile looks professional. Use professional photos for job-related accounts, such as LinkedIn. Engage with industry-related content. So if you are active on LinkedIn, you want to engage with posts that are relevant to the industry that you are either interested in or currently working in, as it shows employers that you are actively engaged with the industry and you're trying to stay up to date with trends and whatnot. Some don'ts: avoid posting controversial or offensive content. I know, politics can be very controversial, and I would try to stay away from that in social media presence. And then offensive content. So I'll go into those a little bit more here in the next 2 bullet points. So don't share unprofessional photos, and then be mindful. So be mindful of your online presence as employers may check. So this includes, Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media platform. So you don't want to engage in inappropriate arguments over social media. I know that I've seen people, commenting back and forth on certain posts and using inappropriate language, or posting opinionated posts that cause controversy and other people on the platform to engage, and it just kind of creates a hostile, toxic environment. Employers do look at your social media typically to see they want to get a better feel for what type of person you are. So if you so feel inclined that you have to engage in controversial posts for whatever reason, make sure that, like for example, on Facebook, make sure that your profile is private and that only your friends can see your posts. Um, but just overall be mindful of what you do post because typically what is posted on the internet stays on the internet. So just keep that in mind. You don't want something that you posted 5 or 10 years ago to affect you down the line in your future career. Any other suggestions for social media? I know that we've got people here, I'm sure, that use social media on a regular basis, but I mean, a lot of this is self-explanatory. And if there are no suggestions, I will move on. Oh, we have a comment from Anna. I'm okay with employers checking my LinkedIn profile. I try to keep it up to date. However, what right does an employer have to check other social media that is not LinkedIn? Just a thought. I mean, that's true, but they're going to do it anyways because they want to get to know you. At the end of the day, they're going to hire you. They want to make sure that you're a good fit for their team. So if it's public information, they can certainly do that. Now, not everyone does it, but I feel like a majority of employers do. I feel like every job I've ever had, um, they they looked at my Facebook, but I'm very mindful of what I do post on Facebook. So, all right, moving on. So we're coming to a close here. So final tips for success. Okay, Anna said one more thing. What if your Facebook account is set to private or friends only? That's great. If your Facebook account is set to private, then post away, you know? Um, but you need to make sure that it is on that. And if it is on private, then obviously the employer can't stalk your Facebook. But that's a good point. All right, so final tips for success. What we talked about earlier, dress appropriately for the industry. The job fair is coming up. I encourage all of you to be there and anyone watching this video. Make sure you don't wear sweatpants, you don't wear a tank top, you don't wear flip-flops, you don't wear a hat. Just be mindful, no graphic tees. You're going to employers. These are people who may hire you. You want to make a first impression. So dress appropriately, please. Communicate professionally in all settings, interviews, job fairs, work, emails. Make sure you're mindful of your communication. Have a strong elevator pitch prepared. Memorize it, write it down, memorize it, repeat it, print it out, read it to yourself 30 times if you have to, but make sure you memorize it. Diane, question.
There are a couple of individuals that had something additional to add.
Yes.
One, one was covering tattoos when going to interviews.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So
Mhm.
I think too,
Cer- and s- I'm sorry, and certain piercings.
yeah, certainly, especially depending on the job. Now, of course, if you're interviewing for a job at a tattoo parlor, I don't think it matters if you cover your tattoos or not. But if you're looking for a job in a very professional setting, um, maybe with a top tier organization, you want to be mindful of what is appropriate for that organization. I would encourage you to do research on the organization, and try to get a feel for the vibe. But for the most part, yeah, if you've got like a sleeve, tattoo sleeve. I mean, unfortunately, employers do look at that and can see that as a red flag. Because at the end of the day, if you're representing their organization, unfortunately, tattoos can be, they have a stigma, unfortunately, and that's just human nature. Piercings too. That's why I avoid wearing my earrings at work. I don't want to be stigmatized, but at any rate, be mindful of your tattoos. And if you have tattoos where you can't cover them up, like on your face or on your hands, the back of your hand, there's nothing you could do, right? You're just gonna have to own it. Maybe you can, I guess, acknowledge it and talk about how, or a little bit about if it's, deemed as inappropriate for the organization, but you really want to work for the organization, I would acknowledge that you do have the tattoos in some way and to showcase or show that you have, moved on from maybe that sort of time in your life. Maybe it was a mistake that you made because tattoos on your face, I think, are a little much. I personally would never do that. I don't have any tattoos, although I would like one, but I would be mindful of where I put it. I wouldn't get it on my arm. But yeah, I think that's a good one. Um, thank you, Diane, and to whoever suggested that. Um, so yeah, elevator pitch. Make sure you have that prepared. Maintain a clean and professional social media presence. Just be mindful of what you post because employers will look at it. And always put your best foot forward. All right, that is the end of our presentation. Lori, I see you've joined us, but we are at the end. I don't know if you were in the waiting room for some time, but I just now saw you and admitted you. But are there any questions? And Lori, we will have this recorded and we'll post it on our Facebook page, UVA Pipelines and Pathways, if you want to go back and watch it. But does anyone have any questions?
Last last time when we discussed that, we can't go back and get it from Facebook. So is there any way we could just get the link directly
Yeah,
to us?
yes,
Because they have some cohorts that would like to view both of them as well.
certainly.
AC interview and this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get those, Diane.
Awesome.
Would you be able to drop your email into the chat?
Sure, will
That'd be
do.
awesome. But yeah, are there any questions from anyone? I know a lot of this was pretty straightforward, a lot of common sense, but not everyone has common sense. So we do need, sometimes to learn a few things here and there, or sometimes we just forget. I mean, I know I've forgotten. I remember one time I showed up to an event, a formal event, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, and it was because I forgot that this was a formal event. I felt very out of place, and I was very embarrassed. So it happens to the best of us. No one's perfect, but the key is to just be mindful. Um, and hopefully you all took some tips from this. I hope to see everyone here at the job fair. Um, but yeah, if there are no questions, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining. I hope that you all took something from this. And remember, March 11th at PVCC Bolick Center from 1:30 to 4 o'clock p.m. We'll have over 100 employers. Make sure you come prepared with the copies of your resume, an elevator pitch, and dressed for success. Thank you, Diane. All righty, everyone. Well, thanks again, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
All right.